This episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast is brought to you by pmtlifestyle.com, Authentic Muay Thai Lifestyle by Pu'u. Definitely go check out the website at pmtlifestyle.com for some awesome lifestyle merchandise. That's for those of you out there either involved in Muay Thai, looking at getting involved in Muay Thai, and embrace a healthier lifestyle to live the life of a Nak Muay. Go check it out.
Swaddy Cop, happy Friday. Today is, man, I don't even know what today is. It's Friday. I am on the road again. It's August 11th. The next 3 weeks are pretty insane, where we have Rumble in the Jungle in Tulum coming up next weekend. Be down there in Tulum, Mexico. Very excited for that one. The Night Nom Tom belt. It's a fighter from Australia, Eddie Farrell versus Axel from Mexico. So Axel actually won the tournament that we were in, that brought Eric into down in Mexico in Monterrey last year. He won the car, so when you go look back on the podcast episodes for Fighting for a Car, this guy won that tournament. Now he's going to be fighting for the Night Nom Tom belt against Eddie Farrell. So a pretty historic matchup that's going to take place in Mexico. Very excited to see this one up close and personal. Both, you have a lot of experience from Eddie Farrell and, a younger Axel who's also, he's got a lot of power from both of them. So it'll be definitely a banger. You won't want to miss it. I believe you can go to rumbleinthejungletulum.com and go check that out. It'll be free on OnlyFans, I believe. And then they have a pay-per-view. If you do not want to go sign up for OnlyFans, I don't blame you. You can get that. I believe it's $30 for the pay-per-view, if I'm not mistaken. If you're on our email list, you're going to get that email about that too. But just a lot going on. After that, the weekend after that, I am in Indianapolis for Prime Fight Promotions. I think the main event is Tierra Brandt versus Charlsey Manor. I think it's for the Team USA #1 spot for the World Combat Games. So they're both going to be competing to see who goes over for that tournament. That's an exciting fight. Tierra just fought for WBC belt over in Australia. I think she came up short. And I saw Charlsey Manor. She fought over at the King's Cup. When I was in Bangkok back in December, I saw her fight over there. So, really cool to see both those ladies get into the ring and throw down at 5 rounds, full rules of Muay Thai. And then the weekend after that, I'm all over the place. I'm in Oahu with Rich De Los Reyes. They have the Muay Thai Business Academy that's going on. I have a small block on social media and talking to people, but there's some ton of information going on over there. I'm excited to be there to learn some of the stuff from some of the blocks. And they have a Muay Thai Development League. It's like a semi-contact development league for athletes, kids, teens, adults, to go get their feet wet, see if it's something they want to pursue. And then the day after that, they are doing a full contact fight event, just like we did last time. That's out there. But this time it's great. Fabiano Aoki, who's the Samurai Soul promoter and WBC Muay Thai World Heavyweight Champion, he's going to be out there. Bob Carmel's out there. We got a bunch of the people from WBC Muay Thai from around the country. We're all going to be together out there. So I'm looking forward for that to being just a productive event. So a lot of activity from Muay Thai in the U.S. These are all events that are pushing the sport forward within the United States and within North America, with Rumble in the Jungle, right? With the promotion they're doing. There's fighters coming down from America to go fight with them. They're WBC Muay Thai Mexico promoter. So these things, like, these kind of events weren't happening before. This kind of activity wasn't happening before. And if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you might have been able to gather that. So it's a really exciting time for Muay Thai in our sport as it continues to grow and the market develops. One FC announced that there's going to be 4 events that are going to take place in the United States next year, 2024. That is also a pivotal thing, because if you have been listening again on the podcast, one being breaking into the U.S. market is a pretty big deal because of the chokehold that UFC has in regards to regulation. So their influence of regulation, because regulators, they get paid a percentage of like pay-per-view and the gate. So that's a lot of money. And so this is a new organization that's cutting into that for them. So there's definitely like some pushback against them even being able to be regulated here in the United States. So it's great to see that they're making some headway on that. It'll be interesting to see how the officiating teams get built out in each state. A couple of states have some really good officiating teams for MMA, of course. But Muay Thai, it's getting there for sure. There's a couple of really good states that have that as well. Some could do better, and I hope they take the opportunity to get some training from reputable ring officials in Muay Thai. And it's like, hey, like I wouldn't go say I know how to officiate MMA because I don't know shit about officiating MMA. Kickboxing, it's similar to Muay Thai, but it's also different, right? So even if it came to kickboxing, it's like I want to get more reps in where I just practice kickboxing officiating. I'm sure I could do it, but same thing, I'm not going to go officiate boxing officiating. I'm not going to work as a boxing ring official without having that, mentorship from somebody who's done boxing and really focus and be like, hey, that's what I want to do. So I want to kind of just take a moment to, if you're listening to this later in the future, it's something to look back on. Just a couple days ago, they had the wildfires that hit Maui, and there's still people missing. They're not sure how many people died. They know probably around at least 4 dozen people had died in Maui. So my last name is Pu'u. That's native Hawaiian. So very fortunate that none of our family lives in Lahaina. So just grateful everybody in my family's okay, but there's many out there who are not. And it's one of those things, just be grateful for anybody that's not had to deal with that kind of stuff. I'm looking at donating to the Hawaii Community Foundation. They have a Maui Strong Fund. Direct Relief is also a good one. They usually do some stuff like directly on the ground. I'm doing my best to figure out what we can do to fundraise for that outside of just spreading that message to you guys. And in 2017, so back in 2017 in Ventura, we had a major fire. This is before the podcast. And it was the same thing, like overnight, but we got very lucky that no one died from this, from the Thomas fire. Not until later with the mudslides that were followed up afterwards over in Montecito, which were very tragic. But that overnight fire stuff, man, you can't... there's no describing how it is. It's just very surreal when it's happening, and when you're in it, with just all smoke, and it's going to be taking a long time for an island town to recover from something like that. But they eventually will. I mean, the whole nation of Hawaii was built on a volcano, right? But I just want to send good vibes to everybody over on the island. If you're listening to this later on, I hope everything's recovered relatively soon, but it's going to be like, I'm going to say probably at least 3 years until things start normalizing there, just based upon like what we saw in Ventura in 2017. It's like we started seeing normalization in 2019, and then COVID happened. So I hope there's nothing else that comes up once they're able to get their feet back underneath them. And I really want to see, the Muay Thai community, anybody that's listening to this, get behind it, because it's a tragic thing. And a lot of people go to Hawaii on vacation, know about Hawaii just from movies and all that stuff. It's, if you didn't know, it was its own sovereign nation before the United States came in and did their thing, right? But it's a different country, straight up. It just happens to be part of the U.S. now. And, my condolences to anybody out there that may have lost anybody. And I just ask everybody out there that, has any friends, family, or somebody who might have a close relative that's there, just reach out and check in on them, see what you can do to support. All right. But on that note, I just wanted to tune in today just to share a little bit what we've been up to. Thank you again for tuning in. And we do have some questions here from the Muay Thai community Discord as well. This one is from Copperhead over on the Muay Thai community Discord. He said, any way to get rid of headaches? I sparred pretty hard and going to work with the headaches sucked. So a couple things. If you have headaches from sparring, you might be sparring too hard. The other thing that I've seen, like if you're like, hey, I didn't really get clocked that hard, then it could be a hydration thing. So definitely make sure like your hydration before. If you're like parched during training, that means that it's already too late. So you want to make sure that you're staying hydrated, like leading up through the whole day for your training. So that could help prevent those headaches. If you have headache from like blunt force trauma to the head, ease back, go see a doctor, seek a medical professional, monitor yourself, okay? Not to freak anybody out. If you're training at our academy, I don't even think we've had any concussions occur in our doors. Maybe, I'm trying to think, it's been 9 years, so maybe there's like 1 or 2 minor incidents that happened, and those were in competition prep. So next is from your boy Tay over on the Muay Thai community Discord. He said, yesterday my coach said I'll have an opponent for a smoker coming up. I'll be competing at 150 pounds. I'm 6 foot, I walk around at 160 pounds. Now my opponent has 2 fights with PKBs. So for those that don't know, it stands for point kickboxing. They do like these point Muay Thai things on the mat. Started to get nervous, so just wanting some tips. This will be my first competition. So your boy Tay, this is awesome, man. First of all, congratulations on deciding to step foot into your first competition. Second of all, I would say trust in your training. I just had the conversation with one of our guys last week. Trust in your training. All right. However old you are, minus how many years you've been training or however many months you've been training, that's the amount of time that you've had on this planet where you were not doing something that involved hitting people. You were probably told that hitting people is bad. So do what you want with that, but it's important for you to understand that you're going to feel nervous. It's okay. It's normal. If you want some more advice on this too, I have a whole section in my book. It's preparing for your first Muay Thai fight. But that's one of the main things in there. And it's creating a mental anchor in training that makes you feel comfortable enough so that way you can get that mind back into the gym, back into training right before you go out to go compete, like right before you're about to have that good sparring session. If you can get there mentally, that's really where you're going to pop off. All right. I hope you do well in your competition. And I try not to push the book too much, but it's all the answers are in there. Highly rated. There's a lot of people that use our book for, preparing for their competitions or preparing their competition team. The book is literally called Preparing for Your First Muay Thai Fight, so it's very fitting. The next one is from Death on the Muay Thai community Discord. He said, when I do a full force low kick or I put all my weight into the kick, I always lose balance when I try to come back to my original stance. What and how can I prove my full force low kick so I don't lose balance? Do I need to focus on placing the foot I stand on in a certain way? So that without seeing like a video or like a picture of how you're standing when you throw your low kick, I would say it probably has something to do with that and then like what you're doing with your upper body at the same time. So like when I first started, I didn't have like a Thai instructor. We were learning more like kickboxing style, where when they threw low kicks, you're on your heels up. And I still see some people do this too. There's variants, but like the Thai boxing way, Muay Thai way, it's like when you turn your foot, because the low kick, like a general rule of thumb that we will say is if you're kicking below the waist, you're going to be flat-footed. Your base leg will be flat-footed. So let's say I'm kicking with my right leg. So when I go to set for my low kick, my left foot's going to turn out at least 45 degree, and I bend my knee, right? And that way it's based out, so I can just kind of drop my hips, wing my kick in, and I come back up on my toe when I bring my leg back, right? So that is normal for it to happen. So what could be happening is maybe you're leaning over to the side. Try over-exaggerating, lean back a little bit, see how it feels, see if that allows you to fall back into place. There's also some ladder drills you can do to help feel where those feet are going to land on there. I actually have those over on our YouTube channel. They're for free. All the ladder drills you post on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. On the TikTok, it's I think in the Muay Thai tips playlist. And all those are ways that will help correct your foot position when it comes into situations like this. But anyways, hope that helps. Feel free to go post a video in the Muay Thai community Discord also. Okay, next one. Simsonas. If I learn Muay Thai and add Krav Maga defense, I should be unstoppable? ? So this is a good one. When it comes into that, actually Coach Connor, who we've had on the podcast before, he is actually he's a Krav instructor. He's been doing it for 14 years. So is he unstoppable? No. Is he a national champion in Muay Thai? Yes. So when you ask unstoppable, I'm not sure if you're just joking or if you're being serious, but all combatives is good. All martial arts are good. It depends on what you mean by unstoppable. Are you talking about unstoppable in the ring? Are you talking about unstoppable on the street? Are you talking about self-defense, real life situations? Being as hard to kill as possible is important, and understand that most people never actually train martial arts. So just by training, you automatically put yourself up a level, okay? And that, just to be clear, is training long term. All right, next one comes from, is it G Master? Jiy Mister? G Mister? How can I practice defense like hand checks, parries, shoulder blocks, etc. outside of sparring? Okay, this is a great one, man. So, I just got something that was set up. You can use what they call, what is this called? A slip bag. But instead of a slip bag, you can put a tennis ball on a piece of rope and just have it swing about head high. So that's really good for practicing parries, because you can practice, that ball can come really close to your face and you can practice those parries, right? That's always kind of hard, practicing parries. You don't want to reach too far away from your face. When it comes into hand checks and stuff like that, man, honestly, what's funny is I wonder if a Wing Chun dummy would work for something like that, because it's very similar, right? Where you post out and frame out. But doing stuff on I've used my Thai instructor taught me how to use the corner post of a boxing ring, so a pole, about how you can sit there and you can practice moving your feet the proper way when you pull a certain way with your clinch and when you push a certain way. So that way you can practice on controlling your balance and things like that. When it comes into shoulder blocks too, that could probably come into I would say with a tennis ball, slip bag kind of setup. So not a slip bag, you don't want to use a slip bag, but use a tennis ball, right? Or some kind of ball-sized object that's will bounce and it's not going to clock you in the head. That would probably be the best thing for you. The other thing you can do too, when it comes in, so you're saying hand checks and stuff, you can definitely practice those also. You're saying outside of sparring. I'm assuming you're saying without a partner, right? But I'll go ahead and assume that you mean with a partner as well. So with a partner, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. One of the best things to do is you can just have open hands. Okay, open hands. What you do is, instead of throwing a punch at each other's face, take an open palm, put your arms straight out, put your fingers so they face straight towards the ceiling, and push out towards each other really slow. And that way you can practice blocking. I call it intentional blocking with your hands. All right, and that's probably one of the best ways to do it. Go really slow. All right, think half speed and exaggerate, show. So I know when you punch, you want to throw it straight from your guard, right? For this one, wind up, show it. So that way it teaches you proper response and proper reactions. All right, but this is a great one. If you want a video, maybe we can make some videos of this stuff. I want to say I've made one. Actually, there is one on our YouTube. It says like this boxing defense tips over on our YouTube, and that one you can do the same thing. You don't need to be wearing gloves and stuff like that. You can do it with open hands. All right. But anyways, I hope that helps. If you're out there and you have questions you want me to address here on the podcast, you could send them via email to Jonathan, Jonathan at MuayThaiVentura.com. You can also always go drop them in the training tips channel over on the Muay Thai community Discord server. All right. So always happy to help. I think it's very important for people to ask questions, learn Muay Thai, find different ways of training, and there's always different concepts, right? That's the beauty of Muay Thai. There's no like standard, all right? You see like Wing Chun, it's like if you don't block this way, it's wrong. So that's what's great about Muay Thai. It's more like freestyle, right? But anyways, thank you for tuning in today, everybody. I hope you have a great day. And don't forget, if you enjoy the podcast, go leave a review. You never know. Someone might find it. It might be helpful. And I know there's a lot of you listening out there. Have a great day. Sweaty Cup. All right, that's it today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys are listening on iTunes, please go leave a review. It means the world to me if you enjoy the content, if you like hearing about all the stuff that has to do with Muay Thai and what we're doing.
This episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast is brought to you by PMTLifestyle.com. Authentic Muay Thai lifestyle by Pu'u. Definitely go check out the website at PMTLifestyle.com for some awesome lifestyle merchandise. That's for those of you out there either involved in Muay Thai, looking at getting involved in Muay Thai, and embrace a healthier lifestyle to live the life of Nak Muay. Go check it out.